Just got back from a meeting with the planning / organizing committee that I usually plan events with at work. Wait, I think it's a little dark in here. Let me try to turn on another light. Yeah, hopefully that helps. Anyway, so I just got back and what time is it? It is almost 11. I actually could have been home maybe 45 minutes earlier, but I had to wait on the ferry. But still, not too bad. I think I'm just gonna change and then head to bed. Today was okay. The day started off a bit like, not so great. Wasn't feeling 100% my best. And I've kind of been feeling like that every day since I got back from the trip. At first I thought it was just tiredness, but I think I'm a little bit more than tired. I think something feels like it's changing in me. And I think I would have alluded to that in my previous video. It's funny because that last video, I gave that whole speech at the start of the week when I was traveling. So that was before the events of the week even took place. And then by the end of the week, and now looking back on last week, I realized that everything I said in that video was so relevant. It was almost like a foreshadowing of how the week turned out. But I guess I kind of knew and expected that last week would have been intense, which it was. But it was more than intense. It was like a moment of change, or the beginning of a change. Like, you can always feel changes in your life kind of stirring up inside of you before they actually happen. And then typically you're not really sure exactly which direction, you just know you need to make a step forward. And that's how I feel right now, but I'm a little bit uncertain on step in which direction, timing, or exact timing. I know it's sometime around now or sometime this year, but how soon? And that was the which direction is the where, the timing is the when. Oh, the how. Yeah, how do I move forward from where I am now? If you've been in a situation for quite some time, you get, I don't want to say comfortable because I'm definitely not comfortable right now, but it becomes somewhat of a comfort zone. I think I also mentioned that in the previous video. But what do you do when your comfort zone is no longer comfortable? And I think that's where I am now. Sorry, I'm playing with these AirPods out of just a bit of nerves. So yeah, I'm just trying to take things day by day, and I guess documenting it bit by bit so that when the change does arrive or the next step becomes clearer or more evident, then I'll have moments like these where I can look back and say, I felt something stirring on the inside, and now I know why. Well, by then I'll know why. Right now I don't fully have the bigger picture, but I really feel like a change is coming soon. It reminds me of when I moved to this apartment about 2 months before. I started to feel like I've got to move out of my old place. And I was like, how, when, where? Basically, same questions that I'm asking now, but now it's more career focused, whereas then it was more like accommodation, living situation focused. So from the time I started asking myself those questions, within the span of 2 months, everything started happening like that. Okay, I'm not good at snapping my fingers, but imagine that I'm snapping very well and saying that things started happening really quickly. So I feel it's a similar situation here. The stirring in me of this change coming up started in mid-March. Yeah. And I really felt it strongly around the 20th of March. So today's the 30th, so that's about 10 days now. And my estimation is that, let's see, by June, I will some sort of change or move or transition or new chapter will be on the horizon, because I'm someone who, once my mind is made up, once I am able to take a step forward, and above all else, once God has really determined this is the moment for the change, things happen so quickly that, yeah, I'll probably be looking back in 2 to 2.5/3 months, depending on how I plan this out, thinking, wow, from that moment I felt that initial stirring to the moment where the move was made, or the transition, or the new chapter was opened, or the fresh start began. Yeah, it all would have happened quite quickly. So let's see. For right now, I'm just trying to manage how I'm feeling, because it's basically ups and downs. Like, one moment I'm thinking positive, like, yes, I'm glad that this change is coming, I can feel it stirring up. But then the other moment, it's a bit of anxiousness, because it's like, what is this change going to be? When is it happening? How is it happening? I guess maybe some of the uncertainties around it. But I guess also faith is what you need in times like this, to basically just trust that things are going to work out for the best. Faith in God above all else, or whatever higher power you believe in, and faith in yourself, that you have made good decisions historically, that you can trust your own judgment, and that you have your best interests at heart. And last but not least, faith in the timing of your life. And that's a combination of God, yourself, and just the plan for your life, which was already predestined even before you arrived on this earth. So timing is really crucial in anything that you do in life. Nothing happens before its time. What's for you won't pass you by, all that jazz. So yeah, I'm quite optimistic that I'm optimistic about a few things. Even though I don't feel the optimism 24 hours a day, I'm trying to increase the length of time that I feel the optimism, or the frequency that I feel it. And what I was trying to say before is that I'm optimistic that there is things at work behind the scenes that maybe I don't have all the information about, but I feel it on the inside. I think when you get to that point where the discomfort is more than you can handle in your current situation, that you know, once the door opens for you to make the leap or to take the next step, that it's almost like you are pushing yourself through the door, because you're like, it's time, it's time, it's time. And you might have a little bit of hesitance, because that happens naturally. I remember when I was getting this place, and I was like so keen and eager, like, I really need a new place, I really need a new place. And I was like, oh, I really like this place. And then once, like, I got the offer to take the place, I was like, oh, wow, this is really happening. But it was all happening so fast, because it's like, you're having the place, you need to, you know, make this payment, you need to do this, that. And it was all like in the span of like, I don't know, 24 hours, couple of days to finalize everything. Yeah, it moved very quickly. And it was similar like that when I had gotten my first car. Like, I decided with my mom, like, hey, let's go to a dealership. I'm just gonna look around, see what the options are. I had just gotten my license not long before, and the agent at the dealership, or the salesperson, was like, you're leaving with a car today. And I'm like, haha, you're funny. Let's see if that happens. And you better believe it. By the time we walked out the dealership, we had the keys to the car. And it was really funny, because I was like, this escalated so fast, because now I'm a car owner. I was basically in tears, because I was like, oh my gosh, this is so much responsibility and insurance, and I don't even know how to pump gas. So it's just funny that you will ask for things in life and then you get them and then you panic a bit because you're like, wow, this is happening so quickly. But it's not really happening quickly. It feels like it's happening quickly in that moment, but it's been a slow buildup. Getting that car was not just that day of walking into the dealership, but it was looking at cars and doing research and getting like suggestions of which dealership to go to from like casually over a period of time, or maybe the period of a couple months, even a year, and then finally building up the courage to go in and do it. Getting this place was a lot of browsing, looking around, trying to figure out what sort of place I want to live in, what area, you know, budget, all these different things, trying a couple of different options and not succeeding, either because the place had already gone to someone else or no one was responding or that sort of thing. That when the right one came along, it just happened so fast that, you know, application, paperwork, everything getting processed within a day, and then, you know, making the payments and just settling everything and signing the contracts happening within the span of a couple of days. So that's typically how it goes. It'll be like a slow buildup, and then that was also me trying to snap my fingers. I really am so bad at that. But then it's like this, and then like zoop, all of a sudden. So I feel like this is a similar scenario, and I guess what I'm feeling is the tension on the inside with what I feel versus what I know, and the realization that things are going to change soon, and trying to reconcile that in my mind of like, wow, perhaps I'm taking a big step outside of my comfort zone and I have to be ready. And yeah, I'm someone who is, how do I say this? I'm not risk averse. I'm since I was a kid, I've been taking the risks to go the road less traveled, whatever it is that I need to do that feels right for me. But I think I said this in the other video, I do manage risks because I like to weigh the pros and cons. I like to take calculated risks, and I like to know what I'm getting myself into. Sometimes you have to just leap, but even with that leaping, it's not as spontaneous as it might seem on the surface. There's thought and obviously like weighing things going on in the back of your mind and throughout the process, even if it's not straight implementation, but the build up to the implementation is all the thoughts and the planning behind it. I think that if my zodiac sign was not what it is, I would definitely be a Libra, because I am constantly like weighing the scales all the time. So yeah, maybe I was a Libra in a previous life. Maybe there's some Libra in my chart. Honestly, I don't know how zodiac signs work or all this sort of zodiac stuff, so I don't even know if there could be Libra in my chart. But anyway, that's not the point. Long story short, I think I need to get comfortable with the discomfort that I'm feeling right now and not let it overwhelm me, because I just have to accept that something is shifting, that I'm realizing that where I am is maybe not where I belong anymore, and that I'm on the verge of something new. What exactly that is, I'm not 100% sure. I have some ideas, some inclinations, but only time will really tell. And for now, I just need to continue doing the best that I can in the areas that I'm active and on what I'm currently working on, until the time comes to make the transition. And most likely when that happens, it'll be swift. So it's good that I already start preparing for that, tying up loose ends. I think every time I've made a big step forward, I've been subconsciously preparing for it, and consciously or unconsciously preparing as well, just with small actions and things that I've been doing. And I probably am now. And again, as I said, it's not until after the whole thing is, you know, clear, you know, structured, set up, visible, that I will look back and be like, oh, this is why I felt that way on this particular day, and this is why I did this, and this is why that happened, and all the puzzle pieces start coming together gradually. So right now, patience is really virtue, and yeah, just really trying to make the best of where I'm at now and appreciate whatever time is left in the current situation that I'm in, because once the new situation starts and once I, step out in faith and transition to a new place, like a new, just a new environment, a new position, a new whatever it is that will be changing for me, it's gonna happen fast. I'm gonna have to adapt quickly, and I'm really gonna have to get on board. Get on board quickly as well. So let's see how everything unfolds, evolves, materializes, and I will check back in. But I'm really saying all of this to say that at this moment, I think the reason that I've been, a bit up and down over the last couple of days, maybe even over the last 2.5 weeks, is because I'm in this moment where I feel like I'm swimming against the tide and I need to change directions. And I know that as soon as that happens, it doesn't necessarily mean everything will be perfect, but I feel like I'll be in a better flow. And and at that time, because things will be clearer, I'll be able to verbalize it more clearly as well. But let's see. For now, I'm going to call it a night. It's been a long day, and tomorrow I'm gonna get up and go to the gym, because today I did not, which I thought was gonna save me energy because I was so tired, but in the end it didn't make me feel any better. So I might as well stick to my 5 days a week routine. So I already did 2 days for this week. And so if I go 3 more days, which I'm planning to do anyway, then I'll make my 5 days. And who knows, maybe I'll even go back up to 6 days like I was doing before, or drop down to 4 days per week. I'm not sure yet, but I just want to do minimum 4, maximum 6 days, on average 5. And I feel like that will be good, not just for the progress I'm trying to make in terms of building muscle, how I look, etc., but also it's good for the mind. I really noticed the difference from the last 2 weeks of not going to the gym, just my energy levels being low and just my mind kind of not being as clear as it was when I was going more regularly. So hopefully getting back into that routine will also help me with this feeling of whatever it is I'm feeling. So I'm just gonna try my best to be patient with myself, patient with my situation. Who am I to say patient with God, but indeed patient with His plan for me and however that will unfold, and to stay positive, because that's really all you can do when you're in a transition season. Let's see how it goes. Anywho, gonna call it a night for now.